Welcome to Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games. You got Dustin replying to this Mother of Runes with a Tundra, a Chalice. Is that a Chalice? No, a Stonecoil Serpent for 1, along with a Lion's Eye Diamond and a Lotus Petal. Thalia really makes a mess of things here. Stops the infinite mana combo. One more mana paid here for a Mox Opal makes it a much worse value. And Thalia can just get in there. Two damage at a time. Rashad and Port. Not the worst thing when your opponent's stuck on one land, but Dustin does have plenty of other mana potentially. The Lion's Eye Diamond in particular, very interesting in this deck. Has a ton of synergy with the companion mechanic. This Bomberman build is actually a Gyruda build that can do some pretty impressive things. Always gives you an option with your infinite mana. Alright, so skipping ahead there, we had a Walking Ballista come in, take out the Thalia. However, now Mother of Runes and Flicker Wisps resetting that Stonecoil Serpent, effectively killing it. A nice tempo play. Mox Opal now shut off, but Chalice of the Void at 1 coming in. That's going to shut off Swords to Plowshares. Additional Mother of Runes, not as big a deal. Heather already has 2 of those on board. And also Aether Vial. Umezawa's Jite. And this is a legit clock. A Flicker Wisp holding an Umezawa's Jite can be effectively 7 damage a turn. And Heather gonna look to close this out as quickly as possible. It's gonna be 2 swings either way. Wasteland takes out that Ancient Tomb. Mishra's Bauble lets us know an Aether Vial is going to be coming up. No help at all there, but Heather is in the lead. Can Dustin find a way to pull himself back into this game with these limited resources? The Mox Opal is now online because of the Chalice of the Void. So he effectively has in between 2 and 5 mana depending on what he's trying to do. Lion's Eye Diamond. A lot of applications in this deck. You can use the companion mechanic. You can also use it for whatever you're going to be getting off of Karn, the Great Creator. There's some ways of using that mana and then getting cards into your hand. But that is it for game 1. Dustin going to find himself down a game. He's been putting up excellent results with this list, but he has his work cut out for him, as Death and Taxes is a relentless deck. With the play here, he's going to be looking for some really explosive starts, as once things get going, Death and Taxes can just continually muddy up the waters and interact. Just interactive magic. That is not really what Bomberman is looking for. They want to be able to cut down on that as much as possible, and we do see a Chalice at 1, which is going to probably result in just land go for Heather. Really don't have much to do with a Chalice at 1 out. Their normal plays of Aether Vial or Mother of Runes cut out, and later on Swords to Plowshares no longer going to be an option. Sorcerer's Spyglass sees Revoker, Flicker Wisp, Thalia, Aether Vial was in fact stopped by that Chalice. And that makes the Sorcerous Spyglass even better, as Flickerwisp, if there was an Aether Vial involved here, would actually be able to potentially answer Sorcerous Spyglass. For example, if it was naming Stoneforge Mystic, you can actually get after that. Thalia coming in. Ghost Panda being sacked. Basic Island, Basic Plains. Cavern of Souls now. And that is an interesting card in Bomberman list. It's really scary to have your most dangerous card uncounterable. Ooh. Walking Ballista. Taken out the board. Heather's entire board presence out of there, and now Flickerwisp is going to kill this Walking Ballista, itself dying in the act in all likelihood. Oh no, actually resetting Chalice. Okay. So the Walking Ballista could have been targeted. Flickerwisp. Flickerwisp getting cleared by the Walking Ballista. It's an interesting decision. Let's see how this plays out. Revoker. So that is going to greatly minimize the utility of this Walking Ballista. Not going to be able to grow it, and certainly not going to be able to continually ping all of Heather's creatures. Their tiny butts do not stand up well to a Walking Ballista. You got Thalia, Mother of Runes, Flickerwisp, Recruiter of the Guard. So many 1 toughness creatures easily removed by Walking Ballista, making him a major threat even when you don't have infinite mana. Of course, if you have infinite, it is just game over. Major reason for its inclusion. Gyruda has been added to Dustin's hand, and he will be able to cast it next turn. And if Heather doesn't have any type of mana-based disruption, and it doesn't look like she does, she's got a Karakas. Recruiter of the Guard. And just grabbing a Flickerwisp. Looking to grind things out, perhaps. Flickerwisp hitting Recruiter of the Guard, getting another trigger. But this Gyruda's going to potentially show up and cause some real problems. There he is. Milling 4 on both sides. Could be a Thalia. Or a Walking Ballista. I guess you grab the Thalia. So that is now... Dustin says your Thalia is now my Thalia. And he has a 2-1 first strike to kind of stabilize the board briefly. No, there's a Karakas on the other side. This is a disaster. I don't even think you take it. Yeah, I don't even think you can take the Thalia. No, it's not an obvious interaction. It took me a second, but yeah, being able to bounce the Thalia back to Heather's hand feels pretty awful. Flickerwisp now hitting Recruiter of the Guard, and Recruiter at this stage, we'll see what it grabs. Will it be a Stoneforge or just another Flickerwisp? A pair of Flickerwisps actually trades with the 6/6 if it ever decides to try and attack, but the equipment can make it so the attacking is largely irrelevant. Chalice at 1. And that does resolve. Heather not with a Swords to Plowshares in response. That would have probably got us on to game number 3. Thalia able to block Gyruda and be returned each combat thanks to Karakas. So right now, if the game stays the way that it is, Heather will grind this out on the back of that interaction alone. Stoneforge Mystic. Going to be able to beef things up with this Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh, a Chalice at 2. So that will stop recasting of Thalia. And Heather going to need to be a little more careful now. Probably would not have cast that Chalice pre-combat. I think you got to just turn sideways and force your opponent to make the block. Heather actually going to just continue on the same line. So I guess it would have played out the same way. Sword of Fire and Ice coming in, being equipped, and now sending for just huge damage. And this sword can actually be passed to any creature to be able to hold off this black and blue, what is it, a demon Leviathan or something? Demon Squid. A Flicker Wisp. Again, getting rid of Chalice. As it comes in as a 0 CC, or 0 counters. Lion's Eye Diamond. Urza's Bauble. All of the 0 casting cost cards being played. And Recruiter of the Guard. Gonna chump block as Dustin's done with this game. He's ready for the next one. Resetting Chalice. A pretty devastating effect. Something that most Chalice decks don't really care about. I think the majority of Chalice decks, when you're thinking of Stompy, probably don't care as much about getting rid of Did I miss a game? Thought we were on to game number 3 here. Heather going over her sideboarding choices. My point was that Chalice of the Void, usually being at 0 against those decks, not that big a deal. They're looking to cut off the bottom ring of the ladder at that 1 mana slot. I'm going to skip ahead and see if there's more games here. I mean, I guess that was game 3. I don't know. Long day of recording. Might have dropped the ball on that one, but that's the match. Looks like Heather taking that one down versus a very difficult deck in Bomberman. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.